One of my earliest memories of Sunday school was gluing popsicle sticks together to make a walled home, a roof, and a stretcher. We tied strings to the popsicle stick stretcher to lower it through a hole in the popsicle stick roof over the popsicle stick home. It probably took a month of Sundays for the lesson to stick. Groans for the trifecta pun. We were learning about the miracle from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 2, Jesus returning home and forgiving and healing a paralyzed person. Mark relates to us that because of the hometown crowds gathered in and around the house where Jesus was, 4 friends of a paralytic tie him to a stretcher, climb to the roof of the house, dig a hole, and lower the man down by ropes so Jesus could see, touch, and heal him. When Jesus tells the lowered man that his sins are forgiven, the scribes, basically the religious lawyers of that day, hold court about the legality of a human forgiving sins. Jesus gives them an object lesson that a human can forgive sins, plus, even more amazingly, say to a paralyzed man, stand up, pick up your mat, and walk home. Certainly as a kid, I didn't get all the religious legalese. Guess I still don't. I wondered what the man would do with the mat that he would carry that was no longer needed to carry him. I fantasized he could hang it on the wall as a memory, or use it as a hospitality mat, or donate it to another Capernaum paralytic. Mostly due to the myriad of popsicle sticks and my role of lowering the stretcher we made through the roof we made, I identified with the 4 faithful friends who brought the one they knew into the loving and healing presence of Jesus. 27 years later, I gave a talk on that Bible story at a community Lenten luncheon sponsored by Moberly's Altrusa Club. Part of the talk was how 18 months prior, family, church, friends, colleagues, and the legal and mental health community helped carry me into the forgiving and healing presence of Jesus when I was lowered down and had not the power to get up alone. Something about my honesty and vulnerability attracted 2 people who were looking for a church home to come try us out the following Sunday. As they invited other community seekers, our aging and shrinking congregation grew by 1/3 within a few months. Miracles still occur because we didn't have a kitchen war in the midst of such an enormous transfer of power. A year later, Nobel laureate Seamus Heaney published a poem, Miracle, in his final collection of poems. He said he could only have written the poems in the human chain due to suffering a stroke in 2005. He too focused on the friends who had known him all along, and he brought to light the image of paid-out ropes, which would come to fruition 3 years later, when his friends lowered the ropes of his coffin in faith and hope in the funeral tradition of Seamus Heaney's Ireland. As you support those who labor, and remember those who from their labors rest, I invite you to read Mark 2 and the poem Miracle by Seamus Heaney.